Hey everyone, this is Austin, and yes, I'm back after kind of a little week I took off from anime and stuff and reviewing stuff. And I'm back here with Arifuru, and I'm gonna hold my opinions on the series. I'm gonna go through like what happened in the first episode and give my first impressions after, because I got a couple of things to talk about. Especially, I know I'm gonna just clarify this. I'm a manga reader. I actually do want to read the light novels, so I know you light novel readers probably gonna get a little irritated with certain things that I say, but hey. I enjoy the series, but anyways, let's start with the beginning. So we start off with Hajime in the labyrinth, or I'm gonna call it dungeon to kind of make it easier for some people, and especially for me in my speaking, because I never get sleep. But nonetheless, I was a bit confused because I'm like, wait, I don't remember it being this way, and they kind of started a little bit earlier and kind of it. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, so we see that this bunny rabbit man just brutalized freaking a wolf. And it was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, that got me laughing. Like, damn, because he talked about how the enemies are supposed to be stronger the deeper you go into the dungeon. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's on the 100th floor. I forgot. Someone will correct me. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But we see that the rabbit actually pissed off a bear, and it kind of showed this food chain that's in the labyrinth or the dungeon, and we see basically the bear chop off Hajime's arm, and he eats it. And I'm just like, well, they didn't calm down on that part, which I respect, but there's a lot of things that I'll discuss later, but we see that he kind of watches the bear eat his arm, and just this shock in his eyes, and Hajime is trying to transmute stuff to save himself from the bear, and we see that he finds himself with a holy stone that gives him the water, and the holy water is supposed to heal any kind of wound, so he just lost his arm, and he's kind of safe, and we see that we get flashbacks and see kind of what happened with his class fighting in the labyrinth or the dungeon, and we see basically Kaori show up, and this is the girl that he likes, which, is the priestess in this, and she's very kind, and we see the classmates all kind of like going through this just to train to become these heroes because they were summoned from another world to fight off the labyrinth or the evil doers kind of thing, and you don't know everything yet, and I have to kind of explain this because the anime didn't do it. Basically, these kids are summoned to do the bidding of the gods to fight the bad people as a game, basically, to them, and they all have a special ability, and not everyone gets the attack kind of stuff. And I really do like this part. I just want to talk about the image. Really nice thing on that part, but we see that obviously a classmate goes and touches a crystal, and it leads into a trap, and just like any dungeon, there's going to be traps, and he basically it's on the 65th floor, and the monsters are a lot stronger, and they're not that high level yet to fight that stuff, and we see, the Knight Leader Meld, and he's actually a cool guy, I like him, but, it's short, but we see Hajime tries to save everyone with his ability, and Hajime actually, we get back to him, and he's just kind of reminiscing everything. I know I didn't pronounce that word right, but he's just thinking about what happened, and he's kind of panicking about not wanting to die, and I actually quite like that, and especially this right here kind of sent that message that he is afraid. He doesn't want to die, and we see someone, shoot off Hajime off the bridge and causing him to fall down, and he kind of just tries to figure out who did it and everything. I know the images are a bit like out of order, but they're kind of there just for looking for some people that want that, but we kind of see, previously the girl, Kaori, the priestess, I'm going to call her priestess, in a flashback telling Hajime not to go because she had a bad dream that he was going to disappear, and we see that Hajime is basically, he doesn't have an attacking class. He kind of built stuff. That's how I'm going to explain stuff. We'll explain it, and obviously she's a priest, as I said, or priestess, and we see that Hajime starts to feel betrayed, and now he considers anything between home and him are his enemies, and he's going to basically do anything that he needs to get home. And this is kind of where he gets started to get twisted and corrupted, in my opinion, and he kind of snaps and starts to eat monsters because he has to. He has to survive, and it brings this element of do or die. And he obviously, does something smart, leads a couple of the wolves into a trap, and he eats them, and he actually starts to change, and it was really he's very lucky that he was in the holy water, because he even knows, I would have died if I wasn't in the holy water. And we see the genetics kind of slowly change, and he's becoming something he wasn't anymore, and he's not human in a sense. That's how I'm going to put it for some of you that are probably confused at what just happened. And we see him eating a monster gave him new abilities and boosted his levels, and he gains the abilities from the monsters that he ate to himself. And we see, the wolf's ability being shown with the lightning right here, and it was pretty cool in my opinion. I'm going to be honest, the animation isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be in the art. I actually am quite impressed with White Fox with the CG. They didn't go too crazy like they did with, Goblin Slayer, but Hajime makes a revolver from tar stone and blast rock, and it's kind of cool to see this kind of stuff being built up to it. And he named the gun Donor, and he now is just going around hunting and eating, and every time he eats something, his numbers go up, and it usually isn't what he, hasn't ate before, and he gains the ability of it, as I said before, and he goes to the bear for a rematch, and I quite liked the battle. And of course, he shoots the bear's arm off, or I think it was its arm, and eats it. And I just started laughing like, "Ooh, sweet Justin!" You hear him say, "This may taste really bad, but it tastes really good." Because basically, revenge is sweet. GG, basically. And we see that he electrocutes the bear with its own blood, which is really smart, because if you don't know, this anime kind of requires you to kind of think a little bit, and he uses everything that he knows that he learned from school, because if you get electrocuted, it's because you got water in your body, and blood is kind of a sense of, it's liquid, and it usually can transfer electricity through it, which I don't recommend. I highly don't. But he does that, shocks the bear to the point that it can't really move, and he finishes it off, and it was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, and I like that little details of certain things of, it was in the manga and stuff. Then we see, you at the end, and to explain stuff that wasn't well explained, as I said before, the anime didn't do a good job of explaining stuff. So, the Hajime and his classmates were summoned one day randomly, and they are told, hey, you have to fight for our world, fight off the evil, yada yada, the classical isekai stuff. And him and his good old classmates all go over to the labyrinth, and there's this girl that everyone likes, but he likes too, but he doesn't think that she likes him, but she does, in a sense, and they basically throw him off so they can have a chance with her, in a sense. And it's just this really messed up situation for him, and he falls obviously all the way down to the bottom floor, and now he's, as we saw, forced to fight for his life, and he has to do stuff. And I will say that it's a bit toned down to what the manga was. I don't know about the light novel. Light novel readers, do pray tell to tell me like how brutal it is. I know there's a lot of things that they cut out in the manga that's in the light novel. I'm really curious, because as I said, I'm actually interested in reading the light novel. So far, this anime, the first episode was very underwhelming in my opinion, and I do think it could have done better. I think that instead of the flashbacks, they should have started it from the start, where it was supposed to be, instead of making this really confusing thing. And that's basically how I can put it. It's just really, really confusing for people that are getting into the series that haven't read anything, and that's not a good thing. And honestly, if the next episode doesn't really improve, I may take a break, and I might come back to the point when they're at a dungeon, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the third episode. But so far, I hope it gets better. This wasn't a good first episode in my eyes. It should have been better, but it wasn't god-awful. That's how I'm going to put it. And overall, there's improvements to be made with this anime, and I'm not saying to be as I hate it. I want this series to do as best as it can be. I think people misread me when I say that kind of thing, especially with, Shield Hero. I hope it gets better. I really do, because this is a really good series in my eyes, and it's a bit more fast forward in the first episode. I do think it's a good thing, because there's a lot to cover, and I hope it improves. I know this is just the first episode. I'm just expressing my worries with this fellow, manga readers and light novel readers. And for you anime only people, don't be afraid to, ask me questions about what's going on and stuff. I will try to be active in the comment section. I do have a Discord, so if you do join that Discord, I'll be able to explain things a lot better and faster, and you can get my updates for new videos. But overall, this anime has a good ways to go. I hope they don't tone it down way too much. It was a little toned down, but it wasn't god awful. That's just what I wanted to express. It wasn't really bad. It wasn't good either. But I still like it. That's what I'm going to say. In the opening, I really expected more to the opening because I heard it from the PV, and that first part of the opening just, it really didn't, it was like, really? You give us the really good part towards the end, and the ending's okay. Overall, this is an anime that I'm going to pick up and watch, and if you haven't picked it up, I say, yeah, pick it up if you have nothing else to do. It's pretty good, and I hope it improves. But hey, it's an isekai. What more do we need? But anyways, guys, honestly, thank you for watching, and my next video will be on the Isekai Cheat Magician. Just letting you know, because a lot of you were asking for that and upset when Arifureta won, and I'll be doing that. Don't worry, in Damachi. I just got to figure out the times, and as I said, if this series doesn't keep up to what I hope it's going to be, I'm not going to cover it. I'm going to still watch it, so you can always talk to me about that, but down the line, you guys basically kind of, you get the gist of it. I don't cover anything I don't enjoy, to say the least, but thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys probably in the next review, and maybe a Shield Hero video, who knows. But this has been Austin, and I'm signing out. Peace.